Okay, so let's engineer a network effect into your practice. And I think saying into might be kind of it might be misleading because you might be thinking network effect, oh, maybe like referrals, or maybe like a family membership plan. The more people who join, the more discounts I can give. No, that's something that is engineered, like you engineered that. That isn't a true natural phenomena of the network effect. That is a human engineered gimmick that we use to get more people to come. A true network effect has these five universal properties about them. So shared behavior gets better with more people. Behavior must be visible. Sharing raises status. Feedback loop exists, and a reward that grows with the number of people who participate. So this is really the core. It is a shared behavior. So what are the people who are part of this network effect? What are they going to be doing? All right, and my the approach I think you should take is to lead with the desired feeling of your core patient group. What do they want to? What is that feeling? What activity would support support them towards getting that feeling? Obviously, regarding dentistry, regarding health or oral health, it should be revolving around the industry that you're in. So for my case, it might be a community revolving around marketing topics, things like this. It would make less sense if I hosted a golf tournament, right? Sure, very distantly it might help, but not as much as something if I create a community around marketing. It's not to create something that is like, okay, if I join this network, then that means they have to be a patient of mine. Like we're building it adjacent to, and I'll give you the big picture after I explain the different properties. So behavior must be visible, and that means other people must be able to see this happening. So if it's a Facebook community, other people on the outside should be able to see how many members are in it, how active this group is. It doesn't necessarily have to be an open and public group, but they should be able to see this network and how many people are engaging with it. Sharing raises status. So the people who are within it, by sharing that group, they gain status. So we don't want things where sharing actually loses status or it's something to be shameful of. It has to be like, for example, taboo topics never benefit from the network effect because just sharing means shame. But in this case, we want to create something where sharing raises status. The feedback loop exists. So the more people engaging in this behavior increases the value of the group or the activity. And the increased value of the group or activity attracts more people who do this behavior, which leads to this feedback loop. So this also must exist. And finally, a reward that grows with the number of people. So typically the reward is going to be, if you look at like Reddit, the reward is upvotes. Like the potential for the number of upvotes you can get increases with the number of people who are engaged in that system. So that's an example of potential reward that grows with the number of users. So what is the big picture? What actually are we trying to create? Think of it like this. We are trying to create a hub that we own and we control, and it's like we created this little playground, this little safe space for the people who are interested in getting that desired feeling through our industry. So people who are interested in feeling maybe more aesthetic by working on their teeth, you can create a hub for, and there's going to be an early adopter market for that, right? Because we're going back to the desired feelings of our core patient group. This is a feeling that we've, in the early exercises, we've already validated that exists. So we create a hub and we fill it up with our early adopters, right? We create this little community of early adopters who are going to be creating a network effect in that hub, right? And they're going to be bringing their friends in as that grows because it's going to help, it's going to cause a feedback loop. It's going to be very valuable and they're going to bring more people in. and it's going to cause it's going to be a network effect. And guess what? It gets to be a network effect of people who went through your marketing system, who's engaged with your the meanings and the different touch points that we've had, and they've engaged with all that, and they're in this little hub. And now other people have joined, and guess what? For that moment, the early adopters are the majority, and the people from the mainstream who've joined, they're the minority. So now what's going to happen is what we're going to cover next, which is the culture loop. They're gonna come into this. The mainstream are going to come into this hub. They're going to be the new people in the group, and they don't know what the culture is like. So they're seeing what behaviors people are doing, and they're learning from it. They're seeing how the early adopters are approaching health. They're seeing what treatments they're taking. They're seeing their mindset and like their behaviors towards maybe being proactive with their health. And that becomes part of the cultural norm. But we'll talk more about that later. But the idea is, one, we want to create a hub where we're going to satisfy the people, satisfy our core patient group's desired feeling with the shared activity, the shared behavior. So in my case, it's probably going to be a community that shares discussion revolving marketing and growing a practice. For you, it might be, this, I want you to think critically and create something that is truly your own, because this is going to be a very, very strong asset for you. So I don't want to create a template and say, hey, you have to build it this way. I think a lot can go wrong like that. So just think, what shared activity can I do with more people, or can I do with my core patient group that will help them achieve the desired feelings they want revolving around dentistry? Once you do that, does it fit these other criteria? And if it does, then you have a hub for a network effect. And if you fill it up with early adopters, you're gonna get the network effect. Hope that makes sense. This can be kind of tricky, so if you have questions, I think what I'll do is at the end of this course, I'll probably have more information on how to reach out with questions. So yeah, I'll see you in that video if you have questions.